Ever since Jurassic Park 3 introduced the Spinosaurus into the mainstream view, the creature has surged in popularity, now being one of the most beloved dinos and, surprisingly, a household name. The reasons, if I may guess, is due to its size, allegedly being larger than a T-Rex. Also the sail on its back, and the eerily crocodilian-like snout, which makes it look unique amongst theropods and instantly recognizable. So here in this video we will take a look at its evolution in the live-action movies, TV shows, documentaries and games, starting from 2001 till this year 2024. Let's get to it. So we begin with Jurassic Park 3 of 2001. This is the Spinosaurus version that brought its species into the limelight. It was a successful recreation by InGen in the lab on Isla Sorna in the movie Jurassic Park 3. This clone specimen, the dinosaur, like all others in this movie franchise, had other modern species DNA integrated into its own degraded one. The specimen stood around 6 meters or 20 feet tall, weighed in at around 8 to 10 tons and was 13.4 meters or 44 feet long. It stood tall and menacing with long hind legs. It was truly bipedal and had a large sail on its back. The arms were short, but not so short as compared to a T-Rex. It did appear to be able to swim perfectly and somehow had the personality of a vengeful monster. As by the understanding of paleontology in that time, 2001, the Spinosaurus here was nearly correct in body structure. Then in 2009 we have Jurassic the Hunted. So Jurassic the Hunted is a game by Cauldron HQ and Activision. There's a Spinosaurus named Spike with a pretty wild design. This dinosaur is massive, bigger than a T-Rex and super long thanks to its whip-like tail that helps it to balance. True to its name, Spike has a row of spines running down its back, each tipped with a little spike. These spines and spikes also extend up to its neck, over its head and all the way down its tail. As for its size, it stands around 4 meters or 13 feet tall, measured around 13 to 16 meters or below 52 feet long, and weighs somewhere between 7 and 12 tons. Then in Monsters Resurrected, which is an American edutainment television series that premiered in September 2009 on the Discovery Channel, episode 3 here showcased a Spinosaurus. Here, the Spinosaurus is depicted as an apex predator, killing first a Rugops, then a Carcharodontosaurus and a Sarcosuchus. Its design followed closely to the Jurassic Park 3 one and also incorporated spikes from the Jurassic the Hunted game. However, this doesn't necessarily mean they were copying elements from the previous two. Here it was described as the longest and largest land carnivore ever, between 55 and 65 feet in length and at least 9 tons in weight. Then 2 years later, one of the most memorable depictions of a Spinosaurus comes from the documentary called Planet Dinosaur, where the fight between it and a Carcharodontosaurus is forever etched in my memory, personally speaking. Measuring in at a length of 17 meters and weighing 11 tons, it had a large sail on its back, with rather long arms and hook-like claws, and a very long crocodile-like snout. The design is still reminiscent of the Jurassic Park 3 one, but the legs are comparatively shorter, the belly being a bit bigger, the tail wider, and the arms a bit more massive, as well as having a larger sail on its back. Then we have the Spinosaurus in the show Primeval of the same year, and was portrayed to be pretty accurate based on what scientists knew about the dinosaur at that time. Its size and fish-eating diet was spot on. That said, the show took on a few creative liberties, like giving it a larger-than-life head, a smaller sail, and arms that were way too long with super flexible hands. Interestingly, the spines on its tail were speculative back then, and might actually have been a real feature of the dinosaur, which was found out later. And in real life, these spines on the back of the tail would have been even more dramatic than how the series showed them. Then a year later, we have a Spinosaurus which is seen as a tyrant subclass in the game's Primal Carnage, and then later, its sequel Primal Carnage Extinction. It is notable for its crocodile-like jaws, with large, brightly colored sail, and long arms extending in 3 formidable claws on each hand. Not much has developed new in this design, and the only changes is that it looks more menacing and sinister. Then fast forwarding 3 years, we have a show called Bigger Than T-Rex, which is a National Geographic special science documentary and was broadcasted in PBS Nova in 2014. Here, using traits of related Spinosaurus and modern crocodilians, along with input from paleontologist Paul Sereno, the show pieces together what Spinosaurus may have actually looked like. And here the dinosaur is actually depicted as being quadrupedal and walks on its knuckles to avoid pressure on its claws. It still retains the theropod-type tail that is predominant in most carnivores back then. This depiction was actually in line with what researchers thought the dino looked like in 2014. And in the same year we had something really different. So if we are talking about radical change in looks, then look nowhere than in Transformers Age of Extinction. Here, there is a Transformer called Scorn who is a member of the Dinobots that can take on the form of what appears to be a multi-sailed Spinosaurus. Scorn is by far the largest Dinobot appearing in the film, just a bit bigger than Grimlock, who was 80 feet tall and more than 120 feet long. Now let's treat this specimen here, a version, as a tangent in the Spinosaurus design evolution, as it is a sci-fi robot and not really an organism here on Earth. Then we come to Ark Survival Evolved. Among the few carnivores on the game, the Spinosaurus aquareliga or water ruler is a unique species. This Spinosaurus with its 4 legs and large sail makes it a fairly swift animal on land, but incredibly fast in the water. Its marvel is arguably the ability to change stances by going from quadrupedal to bipedal. Their size in the game also allows them to hunt bigger game, sometimes taking on crocodiles and other dinosaurs, and occasionally even marine reptiles and sharks that venture too far inland. Overall, it looks like a meaner, more robust Jurassic Park 3 Spino that walks on all fours and has sharp spikes all over, as well as small elbow and hamstring sail-like fins, which is pretty unique. Then in the same year, in another game called The Isle, there were several types of Spinosaurus, each with its own unique design. The original version of the game features a massive Spinosaurus with a massive sail and thin limbs, giving it a distinctive look. The updated Spinosaurus later on, however, blends elements from Ark Survival Evolved and Jurassic Park 3, striking a balance between the two styles. Then there is the neurogenic Spinosaurus, which is another version here in the game, which looks lean and almost skeletal, definitely one of the creepier designs. Then there is the Hypospino or the Hyperendocrine Spinosaurus, which is the largest carnivore in the game. It is an absolute beast. With 2 tusks, it can move bipedally and quadrupedally, and it has spiky armor above its forelimbs to protect it from the front. Its standout feature is its unhinging jaw, which looks like the jaw of Shin Godzilla, which lets it swallow prey whole, and it has an even larger club-like tail for added power. Then nothing happened until 2019 with the Amazing Dino World show. So this documentary showcased a Spinosaurus that was almost identical in build, posture, tail, and sail design as the one from Nova, bigger than the T-Rex show. Described as being 15 meters or 50 feet long, and actually a marine animal at times, it is also seen having osteoderms on its back and a very small crest on its head right between the 2 eyes. Then we have the one from Dino Dana. So in Dino Dana, the first design of the Spinosaurus had a green-orange color scheme, with most of the orange on its sail, and was pretty smooth in looks. It looked a lot like the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3 and was based on the 1990s reconstructions. The later design, though, is much more realistic and accurate. It had a brownish green and red color scheme, a tall M-shaped sail, and a crest on its head that earlier versions didn't have. Plus, its legs were shorter, making it look even more true to what we know the Spinosaurus to look like today. Its length here was 50 feet or 15.2 meters, has a height of 13 to 20 feet if you count the sail as well, or 4.3 to 7 meters, and weighs around 7.5 tons. Then in the game Path of Titans, the design of the Spinosaurus was inspired by an Australian water dragon, with spines running down its neck and tail. The Spinosaurus model here was created before the discovery of the Spinosaurus tail fluke. Here the Spinosaurus is seen to have a humongous sail and an eel-like tail. Its arms were very large, though its legs were proportionally smaller compared to other big theropods. It has a small crest atop its slender snout, and its skull resembles a crocodile at a glance. Although it looks quadrupedal, it is actually bipedal here. Then we have Prehistoric Kingdom, a game. Here the Spinosaurus aegypticus is portrayed as a big, slow-moving creature. On land it drags the tip of its tail along the ground and moves around bipedally, though it sometimes uses its large arms for extra support. In the water, It swims slowly at the surface using its paddle-like tail and webbed feet to propel itself while keeping its M-shaped sail above the waterline. Its sail is double curved and rows of osteoderms running down its back alongside the sail. With its short legs and stocky build, the Spinosaurus here isn't really cut out to dominate land ecosystems like the T-Rex. It is actually built for life in the water. Then finally this year, the third season of La Brea showcased dinosaurs, and amongst them were a group of Spinosaurus. The design of this Spino here is a throwback to the Jurassic Park 1, with the creature being seen as bipedal with really long legs and a towering posture. But that's about it with similarities. The show's Spino also has a thicker neck, longer, more massive arms, a double curved sail, and a tail that appears to have a paddle-like design. The La Brea Spino is a perfect mixture of the Jurassic Park's legendary design and the latest understanding of how the dinosaur looked like as of the year 2024. And with this we end this video. So that's the evolution of Spinosaurus in live action movies, TV shows, documentaries and games from 2001 till 2024. So support us by liking and subscribing, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, fam.